Hey, while you're doing this podcast, I'm gonna just focus on some Mortal Kombat Mobile, okay?
Welcome to Zero Hit Points, everybody. It's May 7th. I'm Ryan Miller.
Do not edit
and
that.
I apologize. It's Matt Amber.
Yeah, you don't edit that at all.
For the coughing, though.
No, that stays.
You say that stays or that was staged? Hold on, let me turn you up in my ear here. I've heard hearing your podcast partner is a benefit.
Whoever told you that has lied to you.
The internet.
You have been fibbed to.
Fibbed. That's a good word for lying.
There's been some fibbage, like that game.
Oh, that's a good game for lying.
It's a lying game. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Hello, Matt. I am well.
Cool. Me too.
This is Zero Hit Points, where we talk about video games. And I assume it's going to happen this week, even though, like past weeks, I feel like this could be a thin one, a short one. I don't know. It might not be short. You could tell me. You could talk about anything and make it longer. Come on. These are just normal things people say in reference to the length of shows. Ours being a show that might be short.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot of games to talk about other than Mortal Kombat 11.
And that's my thinking. You've already let drop that you're mobiling as we speak.
Well, I'm not now. I put it down. See, my phone's all the way over there.
You know what?
I don't want to take
professionalism.
I don't want signals more than anything. If I could do it without it like interfering with the microphone in some way, or me like being able to hold it right in front.
That's true.
If I could hold it right in front of my face and still look like I'm looking at you, but doing this, yeah, I'd do it.
If you could hold it right in front of my face.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing. That's like. Visual medium, everybody. Visual medium. That's what we do.
I still haven't opened that thing. Not to get prematurely immediately into video games or anything, but I still haven't even done the Mortal Kombat mobile thing.
Oh yeah, you're not missing anything. You played it last time.
It's not different.
You played it last time, right? With
I did, yeah.
It's literally nothing has changed. It's the exact same thing. They've updated like the menu looks different, and now there are a couple of other modes, but they're basically the same thing.
Is it the same app? They just updated the same exact... Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I kind of respect that in a way, rather than just releasing a new app that's the new mobile thing that's the same as the last thing, but we did a new game, so here's a new other game.
Right.
So that's kind of nice, I guess. It's Mortal Kombat Mobile. It's a platform. It's always going to be that. It will update it when a new game comes out.
Yeah.
Sure.
Did we talk about finishing this game yet? Did we talk about rolling credits?
No, I'm so excited. Last week we talked about Mortal Kombat 11 for a while, considering we were barely halfway through it, although that was only, we decided, 2 or 3 hours or something?
Which I think ends up being about halfway through it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, through the story mode, we should say.
Nope, the whole game.
So we couldn't necessarily spoil anything. This week we can. We both rolled credits, and given our shortish conversation about it so far, this is going to be fun.
Okay, so this is like football, so I say defer. That means you go first.
Most of that sentence and or reference was lost on me.
Well, I'm gonna hit you at the second. I'm deferring first part to you, and I'll get you in the second half. Let's go. No? Okay.
I still understand.
Okay, let's go back real quick. In football, during the coin flip, whoever wins.
Wait. Coin flip. It sounds money related.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Now you're trading in 2 things I know nothing about.
And trading, that's 3 things. Because
what?
I don't think
who said that?
I don't think
I don't understand my own reference.
That's right. Are you going to start making TLC references? Is that what this is?
We never mentioned that on the Friday or when's the other show? What's it called?
Thursday, Book Club for Movies.
Sure. We never mentioned that we watched The Other Guys while I was down in Colorado.
I forgot that we didn't.
It was about 10 times funnier than I remembered it being.
It is funnier than I remember it always, every time. Dirty Mike and the Boys, Soup Kitchens.
There you go. But Book Club for Movies, in-show promo.
Yeah.
Now you know what you're in store
for. Oh, and
here,
let's dovetail. We can dovetail that, by the way, because yes, dovetails. Ooh, I like that chocolate. It's so good. There is going to be discussion about Mortal Kombat, the film, this week on bookclubformovies.com. Check that out Thursdays. So Mortal Kombat 11, I always feel like I say that in a weird way.
You do. I know.
Mortal.
You've been pronouncing it wrong forever.
Mortal Kombat. If I don't like,
it's combat with a K. I think that's
Mortal
where you were going.
Combat. Like you gotta put some stank on it. Combat.
Nicolaj.
I feel like I'm saying I feel like I'm saying it. I'm not hearing. I'm not going to talk anymore about the gameplay because I think we did that all last week.
I think we might get a little bit into. I'm curious if you've done the crypt, but yeah, I think we're done with actual gameplay and all that.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'll just answer your question. With the What Lies Within, starring Harrison Ford.
Robert Zemeckis.
I have played
the worst. What lies? What's the actual name of that movie?
What Lies Beneath.
It's just, right. Okay.
The fact that that's ever been brought up in humanity since the movie was released, like 3 days after that, nobody talked about it again.
Oh, not a fan, huh? We had a short discussion before we had a movie show.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. It's just not a great movie. Okay. Anyways, Mortal Kombat 11. Sure. Yeah. In terms of movies and story, What Lies Beneath and Mortal Kombat 11 have quite a bit in common. They're both mediocre at best. I am disappointed in this story, by the way. But okay, sorry. I have played the crypt. I just haven't done much in it. I got in there to do the quote unquote tutorial to see what it was like because I thought it was going to be first person. But it's like conquest mode, except
they turn into third person. Yeah,
except it's not like I don't get the conquest action out of it, which is a bummer.
Yeah, but it's exciting if it's a next step. For another conquest.
If this is like they're testing that out, and I feel bad because now they're getting like nothing in this game is going to be carried on to the next game because they got so roasted over the first few days of release for the tower being bad, the crypt being problematic. Bop, 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 bop.
So you're not that much into the crypt then?
Oh, I love it. I just haven't done it. That's all. I just haven't gotten that far.
No, I love the crypt as a concept too. It was one of my favorite parts. And honestly, the third person thing, like Shades of Conquest, I'm into it.
Yeah.
Everything else I heard about it, I don't want to pick it up. Like has completely turned me off and out.
Example.
The currencies, there's like a bunch of the grind to it, the randomness to it. Traditionally, the crypt has been yes, you can go up and look at all the locations for stuff because it doesn't change. It's the same for everybody. Apparently, they've changed that. Like some of their more random drops, you have to get currency to unlock them. And I know with the update, I don't know if it's come to Xbox yet, but
it has.
Okay. They've fixed some of that. You get more stuff for doing some stuff, and they've reduced the price on some of the stuff, but it sounded still above my preference, below my preference. I don't know what direction that goes.
It's just not your speed.
There you go.
Yeah, perhaps
it was a velocity rated.
That's right. Yeah, it's a parsec thing. It's a measure of time, not speed. I think that those types of things, especially going forward, are really catering to the people that want to just play tower, play online all the time. It's, which I mean, kind of makes sense.
It's more service. Yeah, no, the tower, those things, I get what you're saying because those things are something that's meant to extend the value of the game permanently to a certain extent, like they're randomized or procedural in a way.
Yeah.
I get they may be trying to do that to the crypt as well. I don't go to the crypt for that. Like the towers were enough of a grind. I would go there for that.
No, that's fair.
And it sounds like neither of us really know, so I am curious. I would still want to hear what you think once you get into it. And I'm sure if I got into it too, this is the thing. I'm sure it wouldn't be that bad. I've grinded out plenty of stuff and whatever.
Oh, I was thinking about this the other day. I think you might actually be able to gain, like, I don't know, I've got to look at this, but you might be able to gain the currency you need through AI fighters, where you don't actually have to do anything. You could just, it's basically the tapping game where you set your AI fighters to go, you let them fight, you hit go with them, like you sit there and hit your A button or whatever.
Well, at the very least, you don't have to like go online for it or anything. I think I know that much.
No.
It's just a matter of having to do the thing,
grind the towers
to get a thing.
You can go through the tutorials for each character, and that gives you you get some stuff out of that. I think you get coins out of it, but you also
and I got some for doing the story mode too.
Yeah,
It doles out some stuff, and with the update, they gave a bunch of like a make good. Like everybody got a bunch of free. I don't know the names of the three
coins, the hearts, and runes or whatever.
Crystals.
Time
Fine,
crystal.
I do know them.
That's right. Time crystals. Speaking of time crystals. Yeah, man, this story, I'm not going to lie. Like, I was amped up for it. I was pretty excited for it. And it just meanders to nowhere. And then there are threads that kind of I feel like they get picked up and dropped. Things that are just not explained outright. And
like what?
Never mind that.
It wasn't explained. You don't know.
No, that's exactly the problem. No, but I mean, it's just, it's one of these games where that story was very convoluted for me. I had a really hard time following a lot of what they were doing. And it's not the time travel thing so much as it's just not well written.
Yeah. And this is some of what we got into last week. A run-on sentence of a story or something we went back to over and over.
Yes.
I don't think that changed for the rest of it for me.
It did not, even a little bit. In fact, might have gotten a little worse.
Here's the hilarious part.
Tell me.
Pretty much right from where we laughed off.
That's what we did.
As we do. Last week. Left off last week.
Got it.
I loved the story.
Okay, let me be very clear about what I'm telling you. It's not a well-written story.
I don't know that I'm disagreeing with any of that. That it's not a
Mortal
run-on.
Kombat is not a well-written movie. Still love it.
Well, yeah.
You see what I'm saying here?
We can continue that conversation. I think part of the problem I had with and we talked about this as well, was that the part I was looking forward to the most, where the 80s dudes come back, or 90s guys come back, I guess, and interact with the current guys. I thought that was going to be better or
more,
sometimes even funnier than it was. Not that I hated it, and I don't think we hated anything. We were just kind of lukewarm.
No, it was just
surprisingly lukewarm at that.
It was very meh.
Yeah. As soon as I went back to play, and we're going to spoil this thing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Spoiler alert.
If you're concerned about being spoiled by a Mortal Kombat game, I am concerned for you and your mental health.
Pretty much right after I went back to play, Kitana becomes Kitana Khan, I believe.
Sure.
She becomes the king of Outworld.
Right.
Liu Kang merges with Raiden and becomes Fire God Liu Kang.
Right.
Like, stuff goes off the rails basically right where I had left off.
It does. That's true.
It was all the stuff that I wasn't excited for. Like, it's all the in-universe Mortal Kombat stuff. Almost like they're good at that or better at that than the stuff I was looking forward to. So yeah, I ended up liking a lot what they did with Kitana, what they did with Liu Kang. Raiden was still fine. I mean, the merging, I guess that was him for the rest of the story. But then at the end, and the very, very end, ends with Raiden having given all of his power to Liu Kang. Liu Kang is now I don't know if he's still the fire god, or does he go to being he's an elder god, right?
He's an elder god. No, I think he stays as the fire god. It's just like, Raiden, when he got his powers, he was bathing in a lightning storm. So
okay.
You're the thunder god, but I got lightning.
Right. Yeah, that's right. It's the Thor thing.
It is.
Nobody knows what thunder and lightning is. Where does one stop and the other begin?
I don't know. Is it Science. Just a hammer? Is that thunder? Are his fists thunder and lightning? Is that what he's like? Meet thunder and lightning.
He's the Sean William Scott? Is that who's Stifler?
Yes, that is him.
From the Rundown?
That's correct.
Anyway, I like what they did with all the characters. I like how it went off the rails right when I got back into it. I like how they wrapped everything up. I like how in the end, and maybe a lot of this was just it coming together in the end, even if I didn't enjoy the first half as much. I like how in the end they've created this universe, and I don't think either one of us has a problem with the universe or how this story functions in that universe.
No.
It's just a telling of it, right?
Yeah.
I like that they still have this universe that's mystical, magical, over the top, nuts, and yet the answer is still to punch it to death. Like the answer to everything is still punch it to death. And to that effect, the choreography is pretty dang good. Maybe the best part even still. So
I just want to say that okay, so you get the whole punch it to death thing. I don't get that out of this. What I get is strictly hey, call Liu Kang, he'll fix it. That's what I get.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely kind of a Deus Ex Machina in this a little bit.
In everything.
Or that's the thing we're waiting
Liu
for.
Kang is always the Deus Ex Machina. Like he is. The only reason he isn't is because the person who's playing him sucks.
Well, it's almost always a function of it's this storyline, the one you see in every single thing ever, right? He's the one, right? It's even though it's not the Matrix storyline because it was done a zillion times before that, but Liu Kang is the one. Master Chief is the one. It's the story we see in video games all the time. So yeah, I could see, that happens. When I say that the answer is to still punch it to death,
no, I'm just taking the piss, dude. I'm with you.
Oh.
I was just gagging.
I just assume you don't understand what I'm talking about because I don't understand what I'm talking about half the time.
I got what you were saying, and I agree with you. I just wanted to make a bad joke that apparently went way too seriously. And
No.
It went down this is why podcasts are good for people that are smart.
Podcast at 0HITPOINTS.com. Did Matt get the joke right?
Has he ever?
Tune in next week.
Sub question. Provide site evidence.
Those are just the things. I also felt bad. I felt like we ragged on it more than, again, I was expecting maybe last week. And it was just in the spirit of meh. None of it's horrible.
And that's the thing is like again, the gameplay is fine. The external stuff, like all that's whatever is fine. The story is just such it is such a bummer for me because it didn't like I like it as in the same way that I like every Mortal Kombat story. They're ridiculous, they're goofy, just everything you said, they're bombastic. I just didn't like how this one was written and how this one came together. And again, it's fine, it's fun. I love the game itself, and there are certainly parts in the story that are like, that was really cool. And I agree on the choreography. I think the choreography looked great. But yeah, in terms of like, yeah, I kind of walk away with that going, man, I'm really glad that I don't have to pick every character and go through the whole game again to get their ending, or something like that, because that would have just bummed me.
Yeah, there's the little
you get the endings from the crypt and
towers.
Yeah, and towers. So
the little animatic endings kind of.
I haven't actually seen them yet, so I don't know what they are.
I've seen them all because get this, once I finish the story, which last thing I want to say about that is that I do like where it's ended. Like I'm super excited for whatever they do next. I feel like it's going to be harder to mess up. Like they've done some pretty radical things. Like Raiden is not the dude anymore. I'm sure he'll be in the story.
He's not even. He doesn't even have his powers anymore.
Right.
Now I think
so that stuff's kind of exciting to me. I like that.
Sure. It's not that I don't want to see where that goes. It's again, it was the telling of the story, not the story itself.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I do not disagree for the most part, obviously.
I will say there is one thing that that did bug me kind of throughout, and
was it Devora bugging you? Was she bugging you?
Devora, good joke. I'm with you. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. That was strong. No.
Podcast at 0hitpoints.com. Did I get the joke?
Did he get it right? And sub question: has he ever? Everybody in terms of like voice acting in that game was fine, except for Raiden, who just like, I don't know why everything was so booming with him.
You're gonna put Raiden below Ronda Rousey? Okay,
I guess I just didn't I tried to focus on that because you brought that up, and like, I don't know, it just didn't. There was nothing. It didn't bother me because it's not with her. I'm not talking about the acting itself necessarily. I'm talking about the actual voice being used. She was fine.
Oh, okay.
She read the lines and she was serviceable. Like, I don't think there was anything wrong with her in particular. But
you just don't like the choice the guy made for Raiden.
And yeah, and he's like this weirdly staccato and had this odd, he had this odd tone and this kind of staccato thing. And
he's always on that Raiden. Like, tone it down for a sec. Have an indoor voice, right?
That's So Raiden, starring Raiden Simone.
You're doing a web series called that, right?
Yes, it's starring Raiden Simone.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. It should be. Well, who else would you put in it? Actually, no, wait. Starring Raven Simone is the weird thing.
She just
that's switched
actually,
the title. Yeah.
But she's the elder
dressed
god.
as Raiden.
Yeah.
From The Facts of Life. Is that where she I forget. She's from a sitcom,
She was on
right?
Cosby Show originally.
Cosby Show.
Yeah.
He was one of those.
Yeah.
Rudy? Rudy.
Facts of Life was Tootie.
Rudy and Tootie.
Oh, she was Rudy, though. I think you're right. She was Rudy on...
that was her name, right?
On Cosby Show. Rudy Tootie.
We almost, between those two sitcoms, got to a breakfast food from Denny's.
Man. Rudy Tootie Fresh and Fruity.
There it is. See? Wait, no, is that IHOP? Did I go?
I think that might be IHOP. The only thing I remember from Denny's is the
Moon's Over My Hammy. We said it together.
Which is delicious. It's so good.
It's all right.
Whoa.
I like the name better than the food.
Wow. All right. Well,
hey,
disappointment abounds once again. Yeah. What are we talking about? Are we done with Mortal Kombat
11?
Are we done with it?
You know what we were talking about? You were talking about how you can do the little animatic movies for each character.
Oh.
And I then went on to say, now that the story's over, I went through and watched supercuts of two things. I watched, talking on YouTube here, all of the ending movies for the players because I just didn't want to. I don't want to break your heart, but I'm kind of done with the game. Like I even have uninstalled it at this point.
I don't care.
I just didn't see any value in even if I like the fighting, like doing it through all of them to even see those little snippets. I was like, I feel like I'm getting it from watching it on YouTube. So I had connected it to your mobile account and you were like logging in every day. And that's the bad news.
No. I was just telling you that if you log in every day, and more than anything, I wanted the rewards you get for the initial connection. So
right.
I don't care.
But that was one supercut and that was fun. That I would say still check it out. Like it's cool. A lot of those endings I feel like are conscious throwbacks to how those endings happened back, because those were the only character endings you got back in the day from fighting games, right?
Right.
You know, that type of thing. I like that. They're fun. I saw Jax's ending making the rounds because he goes back in time and eliminates slavery. They basically all get time control powers, so it's all about how did they use their time control powers.
Well, great.
So
I'm still disappointed that I can't find out how Reptile does it.
That's true. No Reptile. What if they DLC that dude?
He's not on any of the lists
Leaks.
that have been leaked. Yeah. And I'm actually pretty disappointed with who they've pulled out for this. So
I've heard of the Terminator, possibly. This is coming from people breaking down the code, so who knows? But and there were actually I forget the others. There was two others,
Spawn,
right?
Sindel, Shang Tsung. There were like four Mortal Kombat, 3 Mortal Kombat characters.
And there you have it, everybody. Remember. Tune in.
I'm uninterested
later.
in that. We'll see what else. I want them to just Reptile.
Would you say they're unmemorable?
They are in memoriam.
Okay. And then I watched a supercut of all the fatalities.
Still haven't done that yet either, and I'll go through all those on my own.
Highly recommended. This one, I think I watched one that had the fatalities and the brutalities in it, so it was a little bit probably longer than it needed to be. And I'll say around minute 12, you go from desensitization to maybe just sick.
I'm into it.
Something about the Cabal and Baraka ones, like the sound effects they get in there, and it's for the first time. I'm like, okay, let's come back to the rest of this later.
Take a break. Nightmares.
Devora getting a lot of love this time around. A character I'm not typically interested in, but her fatalities are a great. I like that character. So and that's the thing. I don't like. I like the idea. It's just the execution. I don't know. Maybe I don't like bugs. Maybe that's all that's coming out right now.
You're bugged by it.
Twice in one podcast. Does it still work?
It bugs you.
Podcast at 0HITPOINTS.com. Let us know
if it's bugging you.
Johnny Cages are maybe the best still. Have you done any of those
I
yet?
have not done. No, the only fatality I've actually seen is Aaron Black's, because I was going through a tower and he was the first one. I had mentioned I kind of want to learn how to main him a little bit, and so I got the first fatality that's unlocked for you. I've done.
Okay, all right. Well,
which I like
I'll
a
wait
great
until
deal.
You're a little farther into the fatality. Once you get a good one, be like, hey, this was good, and I will respond having seen it, saying, yeah, right.
This is that's exactly what the conversation will be too. Quote unquote conversation
with a K. Never gets old. Zing, 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 zing. Cassie's got some good one, like daughter, like father.
Do we need to keep going with this?
Jackie, no, we don't.
No, okay. Let's move on.
Shao Kahn has one where he hammered. You've seen this one, right? The guy goes down on all fours. Shao Kahn hammers the head into the body, and it comes out the butt.
I have not seen that.
It's great.
That is disappointing to me.
Disappointing. Did I spoil it for you?
That I haven't seen it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You haven't spoiled it, but hey, you want a spoiler? Here's one. Edit that out, sucker!
Whoa, I think I might literally have to, although I'll probably just beep over it.
That would be really funny. You should do that. Got him again!
Dang it. You're creating so much work for me.
I know. Okay, I won't do it anymore. Again.
Also, it's not even the movie show. Jeez.
I know, that's why it works here, because it'll come out of nowhere and people will be like...
So Thursdays, Book Club for Movies, where I'll have to bleep Matt several more times for spoiling Avengers.
That's not true. You're going to spoil it. I am not going to spoil it.
I won't spoil. No, that actually wasn't going to be a spoiler for the end of the show. We're going to do a show where we just talk about the movies we've been watching. We're going to play a little catch up because we're not ready for our latest film, whatever it is. But I wasn't even going to really include Avengers Endgame, really. I did see it, but...
All right, then.
Okay.
We've gone nowhere fast.
And we're done, is the crazy thing. Mortal Kombat 11, you got anything else?
I like it. I'll keep playing it for a while.
Cool. There's news things. Did you... the only news item you clipped was about this Overwatch official beer thing. Did you want to even...
No, it ran its course on Twitter. Go there and see the humorous post I made.
It wasn't Coors, right, though? It was...
It's Bud Light.
Bud Light. Wow, not even wiser?
Yeah, no. Here's the joke that was made. Piss! The official beer of Overwatch. All right.
Okay. It's better in person, though?
The piss?
No. No, actually. I'm going to say no to that.
Okay.
I'm much happier hearing about it than
sure.
having a visit in person. But no, the joke itself.
Oh, yes.
The anatomy of the joke this week on 0 Hit Points.
And this one's interesting because anatomy is typically involved in the urination of beer.
Okay. The urination of beer.
Yeah, you don't buy beer, you rent it.
You're urinating it. And then the only other thing I thought we'd have a word or two, as we have in the past, was about Borderlands 3. You sent me a link to, I think it was a live stream going on.
Oh yeah, if you wanted to see what the gameplay was.
I did not watch that live stream.
I didn't watch more than, 15 minutes of it or so. I did and I didn't even, I skipped around because it was the recording of it.
Okay. Not even live. You watched the live stream, not live.
I watched the fake stream live. Yeah. Or the live stream fake. Either way. Yeah, I flipped through it here and there and watched some of the stuff, and
Indeed.
I recognized as I was going through this that there are some biases that I was looking for and things that made me not go jump out of my chair for this game where a lot of people seem to be. One of them being that I was kind of expecting some really good humor right off the bat, and it's just not there, but I'm also maybe setting myself up for something that is out of context to a point.
I don't know, man. I mean, that was a huge part of why we liked Borderlands 2, wasn't it? I know a lot of people didn't like the humor from Borderlands 2, or it had gotten old by that point. I've heard that plenty of times about Borderlands 2, but it landed with us for the most part.
Right, and I'm not against it. What I'm saying is that I just don't think that it was there.
Nothing. Yeah, no, I agree. Nothing of it has landed. I haven't seen anything that's harkened back to what we liked about about the humor.
Right.
So.
And as far as the game itself, I mean, I've been saying I want more Borderlands. I want more Borderlands 2. I want that game again, and they're very clearly going for that because it looks like Borderlands as far as we can tell. But there is something about it that is just not engaging me yet. I'm still going to get it. I'm sure I'm still going to play it. There's a it's going to have to come out. I'm not pre-ordering it, but I'm certainly going to
I might wait a week or so.
I'm going to wait. Yeah. It'll be depending on if reviews come out ahead of time and it's generally getting favorable reviews, I'll probably pick it up day one, but
along with this gameplay trailer, a lot of people got their hands on it, and I've got a thing here from PC Gamer.
Tell me.
Where they list out some things, and I think it's pertinent to what you're talking about as far as the gameplay and stuff goes.
Tell me.
Because In fact, I want to say last we talked about this, I was kind of on the fence about whether or not more Borderlands 2 would be enough. I've been curious what the evolution is going to be, especially with games like Rage 2 coming out, and especially with every other game that has come out since, like Games of Service, blah, 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 etc. Does just more Borderlands 2 fly? I think it flies with us, probably still. That's enough to get us together, get us talking, get us playing, get us whatever. Yeah, anyway, so what has come out about this game so far, 10 things they said they learned here. Your base is a spaceship. Okay, whatever, that's the hub.
I don't know why people are so focused on that.
Oh, are they?
Apparently, I keep seeing articles and things mentioned about it. Who cares?
I mean, it's a cool little note. I mean, it's the kind of stuff that I don't tune into this stuff for. That's the reason I don't watch the live stream. I'm I don't really need to know. I don't get excited about that type of stuff.
No, neither do I at all. It was and that's why I skipped forward a bunch and was just trying to watch the gameplay and not listen to Randy chuckle at the jokes he already knows are coming that are not that funny in the first place.
Did you do any magic?
I have no idea. Okay, keep going. 10 things I hate about you.
The offline play is supported, which I thought was a funny thing to mention. All the information I want is in the opposite direction. What kind of online play are they doing? Is it the same? Is it just...
Which is ironic for you.
Don't you think?
A little too ironic. And
you mean because I typically don't like games that are more of the same?
Well, and also because you typically don't care about online, and this is a game.
Oh yes,
this is a game that bucks that trend a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the reason I say more of the same would probably be okay for us, because Borderlands holds a special place in our hearts.
Sure.
And it's been a ton of times. We didn't play the pre-sequel, so we've put some time between us and Borderlands that I feel like we could go back.
And the pre-sequel is kind of the thing that's one of the things that holds me back too, is that when I see this stuff and it's making me a little more reticent, I think about pre-sequel, and while I know that was made by a separate party, it's still the Borderlands name. What's to say? You're reinforcing now that IP is not immune to poor decision making.
It's lesser known. I don't know what Borderlands is still or what it's going to be. The team has changed enough at Gearbox, and who's to say they aren't bringing people on that worked on the pre-sequel? Not that it wasn't.
That's what I'm saying.
And pre-sequel was probably a competent game. I didn't hear any complaints about it not functioning, just it being a even more meh Borderlands than anybody wanted.
Exactly.
And that was probably too much too soon too, honestly. Borderlands 2 went on forever. I don't know how people... Anyway, whatever.
Anyways, give me more of this top 10 things.
Most of the rest are just that stuff that we don't care. You can hijack enemy vehicles. Great. The villains are bad. The main quest will take 30 hours if you beeline it. Moxie's in there. Emotes, destructible cover. Okay, this is there will be cosmetic, microtransactions, and DLC, but no complex currency system.
Yeah.
That's fine. I never get into the cosmetics with any, although Borderlands maybe more than anything, but even then still.
Which I think is funny because that's the one where I'm least interested in doing cosmetics.
I just remember we went through skins and stuff. Remember we hunted golden keys even for a while. And,
sure. Yeah. But also that was just another function of, this is fun to do in a game that we're having fun with. It was.
What's funny?
What? Because we're having lots of it.
Yes, no, this whole show, number one. Number two, I'm so uninterested in cosmetics most of the time, but when it's just me and you in the room, that makes it more interesting somehow. That makes less sense because I would imagine you get into that stuff because you want to be or personalize your character or look different out in the world, but that's part of the reason I don't get into that is because I feel like it's all there. If your options are limited, you're going to look just like somebody else, and everybody else I see, I'm like, oh, great. But between you and me, I'm like, hey, check this out. And you're like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, oh, that was worth it. I don't know.
But that, I don't know. I have always enjoyed collecting skins and going after things. It's fun. I am not whaley in that respect, though. I won't pay money for that crap.
No.
But if it's in the game and I like it, I'll grind for it a bit, depending on what it is. I mean, everything will always go back to me to Halo with that stupid the circling hearts that I like, or the heart thing.
Funny enough, had a conversation about that, but yeah, that is
we did on the show
case. Yeah.
In any case.
And then they do have a whole bunch of paragraphs here under the title Borderlands 3 multiplayer, but none of it is different than the last 3 games, or however many Borderlands games there are now.
12.
A 4-player co-op.
Good.
Doesn't say there's any massively multiplayer part of it or servicey part of it or
Borderlands Royale.
No mention of any of that. So again, not really anything here that answers any of our questions, any of my burning questions.
When does it come out? Do we know? Do we have? Is there a release date?
I feel like this year, if they're doing this much on it already.
Yeah,
right?
I
this is
definitely.
Probably holiday.
I do believe it's this year. I don't know. Are they doing holiday or are they going to do a summer release?
They talk about the editions 60, 80, 120, 250 with physical loot.
September 13th.
September 13th is what it says nowhere in my article, but you found it by doing your due diligence.
Yeah, also a Google search of Borderlands 3 release date.
Oh.
Yeah. Also, thinking about that date, by the way, Ryan, I will not be in attendance. However, you might want to get in line like the minute you land in Seattle for PAX for the Gearbox.
They do a panel, right? Like they didn't do one last year.
They got to do a panel, and I'm willing to bet they will. It's check under your seat. There's your copy of Borderlands 3, and then I'm going to be mad that I didn't go.
Known for giving stuff away at their panels, Gearbox is.
And I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah. In fact, famously, I never paid a dime for anything having to do with Borderlands 2. I got the game for free, and then I got all the DLC for free the next year, and I want to say you missed every single one of those panels.
I did, and then the one panel we went to, we got like coins or something for Battleborn.
Battleborn, there you go. And somehow you've sworn off PAX altogether.
I have.
From that moment on.
It's dead to me. Thanks a lot, Pitchford.
Well, that's probably be it for Borderlands 3 for
until it comes
a long
out.
time. Again, I'm not going to really tune in to see much. I'll peruse the headlines here and there, and if something's crazy, maybe we'll talk about it. But
all right, perusal
is coming out
for usual.
And you, sir, thought maybe this was worth mentioning. I mean, it's okay. That's a bad way to start. This is definitely worth mentioning. The only reason I didn't have it originally on the list here is because I didn't think I would be able to do it justice. And the look that's elicited from you alone just doesn't help me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What? You sent me the okay, fine. Mention the thing first so everybody knows what we're talking about it. That's how you want to play the game? I mean, Riot employees prepare for walkout today. Says the headline on Kotaku. I didn't have it on there. Again, it is very important and it's monumental in this whole industry that's nascent with its unionization and all that stuff. I just didn't think I could do it justice, and there are just amazing podcasts out there. Waypoint's already done a lot on it. I'm sure I'm not caught up, but Spawn on Me has brilliant words about it, I'm sure, but I didn't know if I could do it justice myself.
I know you're very concerned about doing this justice when, by the way, I had completely core dumped this. I messaged this to you like 15 minutes before we recorded. And
you
then
did.
The minute it like left my text message, like as soon as I heard the send sound, I was like, I don't remember anything about that.
My work here is done.
That's right. I've done what I needed to do. I've provided you with a paper trail. You know, I think it's interesting. That's all. There's like there was the whole thing a year ago with the various misogyny and the sexism and all the issues that were going on in Riot.
Remember they put they suspended the guy who farted on people? Remember that guy?
He farted on people, right?
Yeah, they suspended him.
Yeah, and then they ended up with a couple of they've got three lawsuits that were filed against them. And
right.
Two of them have been Riot has been fighting, saying that the employees signed a arbitration deal with them that basically says you can't do anything to us, so don't even try.
Ridiculous, right?
And
they literally signed a thing that says you can't sue us. Like
right.
that should be illegal.
Well, and that's kind of what they're trying to make a point of, and that's what the walkout is for, is people not being okay with forced arbitration, which is exactly what it is. You have a problem with the company, they're going to take you to forced arbitration, which means you're probably not going to get what you deserve.
And they're trying to
keep it out of a jury's hands, essentially.
Well, and they're trying to cordon people off too, is what they're doing, which I guess is, I have just learned recently. Like I said, Waypoint's a very good show and has words on this. It's something that companies and corporations do to bust this stuff up, right?
Oh yeah.
They single people out. They try to find the problem people and quote unquote deal with them to get the rest of the company back on track. So
sure.
yes, a walkout wherein hundreds of employees are involved sends a greater message, and especially flies in the face of anti-solidarity practices like that, I guess would be the thing, right?
Right. Well, and you know, I mean, I always support walk away from everything. That's what I always say. Don't do things.
Walk out.
Don't do things to completion. Like get halfway there, get 3/4 of it, get 98% there, and just be like, no, I'm done. I don't want to.
It's a hassle to find Foley of footsteps and a door shutting that I can use free and clear.
Oh man!
But imagine if I had put those in right now.
It's that, like, you got to get it from The Simpsons, where it's that, and then
a great example.
And the car pulls out, and
yet I think this is all better than any of that would have been.
Been.
Again, the anatomy of a joke. You come here to be schooled.
You come here to be schooled by Matt. Anatomy. It's the anatomy of a joke.
The anatomy of a joke. Not to shortchange. Again, that is an important and probably watershed moment with all that. Like the Riot stuff, definitely go look that up and check it out and be a part of it in a way. Like they're only asking for their humanity, Matt.
You know what? Too much.
Is that too? Did I go too far?
You went too far. They went too far.
Riot's gone too far.
I wanna come back to this maybe next week after the fallout of this has happened and see.
That might be better.
See what Riot responds with, because they have released a response, and the response is essentially, nothing's gonna happen to these people. Nobody's getting singled out. Don't attack these people. We're allowing them to do it from 2 to 4. Enjoy your walkout. That is seriously what it says area. Essentially in their thing. It says from 2 to 4, please managers assist your employees that wish to walk out. Like,
I mean, even if it's fake,
if that doesn't set alarms off for you, like, I'm sorry, your ding ding meter is definitely off on the fritz. It's off on the fritz.
It's not genuine. Like, don't ever mistake that for genuineness, stuff like that, right? But it's something, I guess, you know.
Let's just always remember, this is the key to business, and it's the key to working in a business, is that they don't care about you.
Care about the money.
Yes. Corporations do not care about you. Don't ever think they do. Don't be loyal to corporations. It's going to hurt you in the end.
Paid to care about the money. Like, that's not even, I feel like people get up in arms, especially weird people who are like, what? No, you know, my boss is a nice guy. Yeah, your boss might be a nice guy, but the company's there to make money. Like, if you're going to cause problems, not make enough money, if you're going to even maybe stuff like this hurts the bottom line, like affects stock prices. Like, they are motivated, justified, and legally, like, normal in this world to go against you, to get you out of there. So yeah, it's not a news flash.
Nope. Expect mass layoffs coming in 3 to 5 months from Riot.
I thought you said Ryan, but you said Riot. Hey, you know what's really funny?
Ryan's firing people.
They do this cool thing where they call their employees rioters.
Yes.
Even in their official statements, because there's a cool atmosphere going on there.
It's cool, man.
And now they're rioting in so many words. So
yeah, we refer to ourselves as hitters.
Hit pointers. I've said 0HPers a few times and kind of walked that back.
Yeah, we've definitely skipped that one.
Less offensive than anything Riot Games has done, though, so maybe we'll bring it. I don't know.
We like to give out hit pointers. That's it.
There you go.
Here's
on 0 hit points. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Bye.
Come back next Thursday. No, this Thursday. My gosh. Come back next week if you want more of this. Come back on Thursday if you want more of that. That being movies. Just a bunch of weird random ones. Matt has no idea the ones I'm going to talk about. And I have one idea of the one he's going to talk about. It's the one he already mentioned.
Ha!
So I have the upper hand. Are we going to make this a movie volleyball?
We might be able to make it a movie volleyball. It just depends on Captain America.
Stop it!